All right, hi, I'm Austin Gordon with Mind Equals Blown. I'm sitting here with Sean from Yellowcard. We're doing an interview right now. Tell me, how's the tour going?
The tour's been amazing. This is our first headlining tour for Yellowcard in 5 years, and whenever we have the opportunity to headline, we want to make sure that there's a lot of good music for the entire evening, and this has just been a blessing because Go Radio and Every Avenue, both great bands, put out new records this year, but even better, I made a lot of friends on this tour I'm probably going to have for the rest of my life. So just great guys, good music, and that's just kind of that's what we're excited about.
Absolutely. In reference to the current divided line between like mainstream and like underground music culture, you guys have you floated around both scenes. Is there a particular reason why you guys chose to kind of come back to the underground market rather than shoot immediately for the mainstream market?
Well, we can look at it a couple different ways, but Yellowcard's always been able to flirt with that line. We toured for 2 years all on our own. Ryan and I sold our own cars for our first van and trailer, and just threw it in a trailer, and we were blessed to have a movement with Capitol Records, and they spent a good amount of money making sure that we were on the radio, and they did a great job breaking us as a band, and and then to our credit too, they always say that had we not toured as hard as we did, it wouldn't have been as easy. So just a great partnership with a major record label, and right now sort of the strengths in music and what's mainstream is shifted towards girl-oriented pop music, and that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
But we're not Lady Gaga. Sometimes I wish I was, because she's got private jets and all that. I'm just kidding. So, but they have great success, and something that we've always just talked about is longevity in our career. I don't need to be on MTV to be happy. Whether it's 5 fans in the audience or 5,000, like I'm just happy to play music every night. So, we're just kind of living it day by day. The fact that Hopeless Records is behind us and giving us the opportunities that we are is that's all we could ever ask for. And I think that as an artist is all you can really focus on. If the rest of it happens, then it happens, and we seize the day. But right now we're just enjoying the moment.
That's wonderful. When appealing to different sets of fan bases, new and old, young and old, what is the thought process when trying to write something that has an appeal to both, but also what embodies what Yellowcard is?
I think with us as a band, we always write because our influences are so diverse. We're always going to have that old vintage Yellowcard sound. The biggest departure we had was Lights and Sounds. And within our life, we chose to do something different. I think if you're ever, have an opportunity to be, do you want to do this or do you want to try something different? I think most people that really want to press forward, they'll say, hey, we have an opportunity to do something different. Like, let's give it a try. But even through that record, you have sort of the skeletons of that, still that recognizable Yellowcard sound. So, and then going back to like the way that we write, whether I listen to Ben Folds or LP listens to Pantera, when you get the 5 of us in a room, it's electric. And for some reason, we have that energy together. We grew up together. We went to high school together. We have this amazing Cinderella story. And then, whether it's new or old, you're going to get that flavor. But we do believe in life changes, music evolves, and it's a part of life. And so that's kind of that new old flavor that we get.
Right. That's absolutely right. To me, the new record, When You're Through Thinking, Say Yes, has more of like a straightforward approach lyrically than past records, both musically also. Would you say that was natural when you guys were writing, or would you say maybe it was kind of forced at times?
No, it's pretty natural, I think, and I can't speak for Ryan lyrically, but watching him being in a band, he's such a poet, he's such a great narrator for a band. But we took a step back, we took a 2-year hiatus. There were things with the economy, the music industry, ticket sales were down, like we were just down on our luck, and so many things were out of our control that instead of just killing each other, because touring is really hard, you're always on top of each other, you're like brothers, and instead of like literally going at each other's necks, we said, hey, let's just hang it up for a minute and see what's going on. And I think lyrically, the reason that it was kind of effortless for Ryan is we had 2 years kind of just a way to enjoy life. And when you tour in a band, we went at it 300 days a year for about 8 years.
That's so intense.
And it's amazing. You know, you see things, you go to places you never thought you'd get to see, but after a while you realize you sacrificed a lot, you know, your relationship with close friends and family and loved ones. And I think having those 2 years off and really focusing your life, you know, Ryan was able to get to a place where he's like, man, I got some really cool stuff to write about. So when LP said, hey, let's do a new Yellowcard record, Ryan was like, yeah, I got some stuff. And it was like we sat down and wrote the record in like 4 weeks. It was ridiculous.
That's such a short amount of time, you know, but I mean, it probably all just came out, you know, with absolutely, like, you know, not a whole lot of effort in a way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It came out, we all had musical ideas, but lyrically I think that's how people connect. And, you know, Ryan does a great job of keeping his heart on his sleeve, but also, you know, having a different look than other people look at things. And, you know, I just give him credit for that.
Absolutely. Are there any number of recent artists that influence the music on Say Yes?
You know, for me, not really, because when I'm not on tour with bands, I just turn on the radio and listen to whatever pop was on. We the Kings had a big single, and you know, all the Katy Perry, Gaga stuff. And I mean, it's all pretty superficial. When it's not that, I listen to you know, a lot of folk music, a lot of acoustic, strings, piano, stuff like that. And so again, we all have our different influences, and so it didn't really affect when you through thinking Say Yes. I think it's just, again, with the five of us, because it's so diverse, that's the Yellowcard sound is the common ground.
Right. What kind of progression do you think the band is working towards when thinking about the next record? Maybe a little bit heavier, or kind of like going back towards the roots, maybe? Kind of like with some of the first records?
I mean, it's always good to have like an edgier sound with Yellowcard. We all love harder style bands, whether it's hardcore or metal or
I'm a huge metal fan myself.
Whatever's going on.
I totally understand.
I mean, LP just he lives and breathes it, and like probably about as heavy as I get is some Thrice, and you know, they take a lot of elements. Justin's an amazing lyricist, and they mix in other elements too, and so we love that edge. But I really love our acoustic sound. We write a lot of our songs starting off acoustic, and it creates a really nice pocket for the violin and string arrangement. So you know, you're always going to get a little bit of that mix. You're always going to have, you know, again, Ryan is just a master of the pop formula, and grew up listening to Nirvana and Green Day, and that's just, he's just a master at that. So, you know, if we can mix in some heavy and find a soft spot for some acoustic violin work, I'll be happy.
And I think Say Yes really did a great job of that. You know, like See Me Smiling, to me, was one of those songs that was floating towards the heavier side of things. But, you know, you got some of the first songs, I'm trying to remember now. The fourth one on the record, Hang Me Up, I think it was called. That was definitely one of the lighter ones.
Thank you.
Speaking of acoustics, what prompted the band to re-record Say Yes all acoustic?
It's funny. It wasn't like a premeditated thing. Like, we'd always wanted to do an acoustic record or like a double, and we just never had the time or didn't know what to do or didn't have any money. And to a lot of credit to Ryan Mendez and Ryan Key, Mendez has just a vast resource of talents. Like he hears drums in a different way that I can't hear it, and he's a great engineer, and so he has a Pro Tools rig, and he and Ryan, we were doing all our B-sides. So when you do like record, we ended up putting 10 songs. We did drums for 12. We finished an 11th song called Promises. Empty Street kind of wilted a little bit. We didn't really get to finish vocals or violin or whatever. And so, and then we wanted to do some stuff acoustic for an outlet. Like if iTunes is like, hey, we want to put you on the front page, what can you give us as a special iTunes deluxe release? So you always have like a couple extra B-sides lying around. And we did 5 at one point just to have them, and we didn't have a way to release them. And then we did 3 more, and we were looking like, well, we got 80% of the record done. Like, let's do the other 2, and, you know, maybe for Christmas or like a surprise, like let's release it and, you know, see if our a lot of our songs are written that way. And Hopeless was like, we're like, hey, we got the whole record acoustic, and would you want to do like an acoustic release or whatever? And they were like, oh my God, and they fell in love with it. And
yeah, they were totally down for it.
Just to have a label again like that. And I mean, it was kind of cool because they didn't spend a dime on it. We're like, we have these acoustic songs. And they're like, well, this is good enough for us to put out. And we're like, is it good enough or is it kind of good? And they're like, no. And so we went back and forth, and again, just the support of the record label, and again, a lot of credit to the band being just super talented, and just really lucky to be in part of Team Yellowcard, you know. So.
Exactly. Does working with a more independent label like Hopeless push you guys to take things to the next level?
Yeah, they do, but they also stay out of our way. It's just a great relationship. I know that they've been so busy and they're having a great year, but it feels like Hopeless only focuses on Yellowcard. And when you're in a band, that's all you could ask for. And
right.
And whether it's independent or major label, I understand the pluses and the minuses, but again, we're very fortunate to have a positive experience when we were on our old major label, and a very positive experience currently with Hopeless Records. So we're right now, we're going to finish this tour up. We're going to go to Europe with Saves the Day and the Wonder Years, and play some shows with our friends in the Young Guns. And then we're going to do a new record with Hopeless for next year. So
oh man, I'm excited about that.
We're really excited. Like we're a touring band, but we want to make sure that our fans know that we have material, and we want to get it to them. And we, you know, it's been such a great year for Yellowcard, and so we're like, we want 2012 to be exactly the same.
Exactly. I remember whenever I first heard about the new record coming out, I was actually really surprised. You know, I was like, oh my God, Yellowcard's coming out with a new record. It's been years, you know. But when I got that, I was just, wow, these guys they've progressed.
Thank you very much.
Something else, man.
Thank you. And again, Neil Averon, great part of that team, and we're hoping that we get to do the next record with him. And he's just been a great friend of ours, and we, again, 5 different personalities, different musical influences. When we get together with Neil, like, he sorts through all of it. He's like, this is the shining moment, and he helps us capture that.
Absolutely. So we've been kind of serious for the past few minutes. So
I think
we should totally lighten up a little bit.
What do you got?
What's a favorite band you enjoy touring with, and like what's a funny story you have with them?
We just played in Australia for Counter Revolution, and we hadn't played Warped Tour since 2007, and it felt like an Australian Warped Tour. Like, really? So many friends and so many new bands, and Face to Face was there, and again, this band Young Guns, they're young from the UK, and they haven't come over here yet, but they're just freaking amazing dudes and the all-time low guys. And we got in a van after a show in Adelaide, and it was us and Young Guns and All Time Low and all of our crew, and just had like this 30-person van shuttle just packed out, going from the venue back to the hotel before we were going to the party. And we had a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we're just all singing the same song, and we're passing the bottle of Jack Daniels around. We're like, we got to finish this before... Alex from All Time Low is like, we got to finish this before we get to the hotel. And we're like, yeah, what a great idea. Stupid, but so we killed it, right? And then Ben from Young Guns is like, I'm going to crowd surf. So he's in the bus. We're all sitting down, holding our arms up, and he's crowd surfing from the back of the bus to the front. Like, the bus driver was chill. I mean, it was in Australia, and it was just such a great moment. It definitely is that's a snapshot of 2011 for Yellowcard. Those guys are amazing. We toured with All Time Low in the UK and then in the States, and then also Young Guns opened in the UK, and then to be with them in Australia again was just was debaucherous. Like, every night, just all of us hanging out and having a good time.
To me, that seems like the main idea of 2011 for you guys is just positivity. You know, like, nothing has been bringing you down recently. You've had all this great stuff happen, and from the way it looks, I mean, it's going to continue, man.
Thank you very much.
Like, I'm very excited for what you guys have for the future.
Thank you.
Are there any songs you guys like are most proud of? Like, one of those kind of songs that maybe like 10 years ago you never could have imagined being involved in creating?
You know, I mean, you had mentioned "See Me Smiling." That's just a departure for us. And again, that's something that Ryan Mendez came to us with a drum beat and a song structure, and was like, guys, I have this, what do you think? And we're like, are you kidding? It's amazing. And threw in some violin, and, you know, LP worked on, you know, kind of making it his own, and Ryan, you know, coming up with vocal melody, and the topic almost to the date was 10 years after we lost one of our close friends to diabetic coma while he was driving, and it shook us up. And looking back, I mean, every day, you know, whether it's a blessing or he's looking after us, or, you know, someone out there has always been there, and we give a lot of credit to always, you know, having Scott on our side. And so it's just, that's one of those songs that's just like really close to home. And so it's it's really cool that we coming back after taking a couple years off and having that song in the back pocket, just going, man, that it just felt like something different for us, you know. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there maybe a particular topic you guys would like to cover in a future song?
I don't know. I mean, Ryan's got it down to a science. He usually just asks for, like, this is my topic. I'm stuck lyrically here, which I do, but he doesn't need much guidance. He's got things pretty well figured out. Yeah. I just want to stay out of his way, and hopefully we get to write some good songs around it. Yeah,
absolutely. What's next for Yellowcard?
Just finish out the year strong. We're gonna take a week off for Thanksgiving, which we're pretty excited about, and then we got 3 weeks with Heroes, Saves the Day. I grew up listening to those guys, and
oh man, Saves the Day.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
So just to be able to share the stage with them.
Yeah.
We're going to share a bus, too, which could be a nightmare, but it's like 18 dudes on it.
It's going to be like Australia all over again, huh?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, you can only hope. And then we're going to take the first part of next year and put a new Yellowcard record together and just get out and be warriors of the road. That's what Yellowcard does.
That's right, being a warrior of the road.
Yeah.
Any last words for the fans?
Yeah, thank you. We're very, very lucky to be in Yellowcard and be able to sort of play music for a living and share a gift, but we also get so much back for our fans. We couldn't do it without them. So I always just like to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
All right.